Hey, what's up, people? Welcome again to this wonderful YouTube channel. If you're new, please consider subscribing, liking, and commenting. And as you know, it is your DJ here, DJ Cliff, aka Wanyeshi. So today, make sure you have this mini tool partition wizard if you want to do all of migration of the OS either to SSD or either to your hard disk. So make sure you have the mini tool partition wizard to perform all that. And for example, if you want to just migrate your OS, you can either use this option, go to your migrate your OS, and you can just say, it asks you two questions like, I would like to replace my system disk with another hard disk. Just choose A and click next. So you can see here we have the OS will be migrated to the specified destination disk, and I want this OS since it is in my SSD, I want it to be in the disk 1. So I'm going to select the destination disk. You can see it allows you only to select the one which has the contents. So I'm going to press yes. And then you can see right here we are being given two options. We have the fit partition to the entire disk, and we have copy partition without resizing. So I'm going to click these two, since you can see it is giving me 232.9 GB, which is unallocated. So I'm going to press next. And you can see here, to boot from new disk, please configure computer BIOS settings and make sure the new disk is configured as default boot disk. So I'm going to press finish and leave the magic to happen. So I'll come here and apply changes. So you can see here, we strongly recommend you to close all other applications. Since I'm using the Bandicam, I don't know if it's going to affect it, but I'm just going to press yes so that you can see what's really happening with this. So I'm going to press yes. So you can see the magic really happens in there. So as you can see, it is saying operation copy partition cannot be completed because drive C is being used now. So what you just need to do, the trick is you just need to restart your computer. So this process, since I restarted, that process, you can see my recording device just stopped, and this is just about the time lapse. You can see this process also needs a very fast CPU. So if your CPU is a bit faster, this process is going to be fast and it's going to be done in a matter of minutes. So guys, the booting process was a bit slow. I really fastened this place. Now we are just going to confirm if we are having the files which we want, because sometimes when you do the migration of OS, we end up losing data. We're going to see if we have the boot files before we go, to the BIOS, because sometimes it might not even start in the PC. You can see we have the boot files. So we are going to restart so that we go to access our BIOS. And since I'm using HP, I don't know if you're using Lenovo or latter, but you can either press F1 or F10. So for my sake, I'm going to press the F10 continuously to get to access, UEFI or the boot option. So I'm just going to the system configuration, as you can see on the screen, then going to the boot options, as you can see right there, then scroll down to look for the option where we need to see the UEFI option. As you can see right there, see we have UEFI hybrid with SCM, and you can see on your screen we have notebook M SATA drive as option 1. And now, since you want the hard disk to be the one which is going to boot, now I've selected the OS. Now this is where now the hard drive is going to boot from. So we are going to select enter and save all our our settings right here. You need to be very careful when it comes to this part of the BIOS, because if you do any error, you might render, you might even make your computer not usable. So you need to be very careful with this process. And you can see right there on those slides, these lights usually try to show that the hard disk is booting. So whenever it's using the hard drive, it's going to show using using those lights. You can see the process was a bit very slow because I was using the hard disk, and the hard disk, it's very slow when you compare it to the SSD. So I fastened this process so that you can try to continue learning as fast as it is possible. Make sure, guys, you really subscribe to this channel, and I'm sure you're going to like it. So you can see the process was going very successfully, and I'm just going to put my my password to go in and see if the process was well. Guys, always know that patience pays when it comes to this process, so do not be very fast to do all your changes. Now we are in, and I'm sure you can see that on your screen, and you can see all the files which you wanted it to be. There's no files which you lost in that process. You can see we have the Chrome, we have the movie box and blah blah blah, and that's what we really wanted to see in our migration of the OS, because sometimes people might even fear when it comes to this migration. So guys, actually, this process was very important when it comes to the virtual DJ, because when you're operating a virtual DJ, you need to have a very fast, hard drive for all that process. So we're going to open the task manager and see what storage device we are using. And we can see directly on the screen, we are now using the hard disk. As I've been telling you, you can see right there, that's where it's at least at 100%, which is not so very good. And actually, this process can also be reversible now that the files which I was using are still present in the SSD. The only process we need to do is just do the reverse what we just did, and you can see all the files which were in the SSD are also present as we've confirmed. And you can see now on the space, now we are going to look at the specs. It's telling us 69 MB, which is not true. So we are going to open the disk partition tool and see how we can use the unallocated space which we left behind when we were doing the partitioning from the first of this video. You can see 256 GB is unallocated, just that black section right there. So we're going to right click and add new simple volume. Then you just press next, and then it's going to format that place, and you can see now we have new local disk, which is E. So let's just confirm in the file explorer, and we see if we are having that space. I'm sorry for the blurry version because my phone was really struggling at this point. You can see we have 256 GB of free space, which is good. So again, now after doing that, we are going to restart, and since we have the same files in the SSD, we are going to just change the version and the style which we did. So we are going to restart, and then we see how it's going to be like. So like you can see right here, we still have the healthy partition on the SSD, and which most of us usually want. Therefore, we will want to boot from the SSD. So we are going to restart, as I've been telling you. You can see there, restart. Then let the process continue with its pace. I'm sorry for the blurry version. It's because my camera was really struggling to get what's on the screen. So I'm just gonna press the F10 to go into the BIOS continuously, and the process is just going to take the same step. Now I want to boot from my SSD, right? And you'll see the difference of booting. So if you want to change this, click here, you see these arrows on your screen right here. It means the one is going, there's one which is going up and the one which is going down. So come here, you can either press, come here, and then this one has to be in the first one. The notebook M SATA drive has to be the one which is on top. Then just tap this one. You can see on top there, we have notebook M SATA drive. Then we are going to say enter. So that's how it's supposed to be. UEFI boot order is going to start from notebook M SATA drive. So I'm going to save, and you're going to see the difference in booting. So let me just save changes, and let's see the difference. You can see those are different. It is very fast when it is booting from your SSD. So let's see if it's booting from SSD. it's a bit faster, right? You can see that on your screen. Let me zoom a little bit. So it is like that. So let's just come and then type task manager, then run as administrator, and see which disk is active right here. See, the disk which is active now is the SSD. You can see on your screen. The disk which is active, it is the SSD, just right here. Okay. So I'm going to just format my local disk D that I was talking about, I was telling you guys. So this one, I'm going to write I'm going to write disk management like that. Then this one has to be formatted, right? This one has to be formatted. So what you just need to do, just come to the mini partition wizard again. Like that, you can see it on your screen. Then come to disk partition management, and we're going to delete this partition, this one, disk 2. So just right click, and then you can say delete all partitions like that. Then say yes. Yes, sorry. No, I don't want this one to be the one which is being deleted. I want this disk 1. Since my SSD is the one which is running the operating system, so I'm going to delete this. You have to be careful when you're doing this step. So delete all partitions. Yes, like that. You can see 465.8 GB is unallocated. So if you want to locate this, you can just come again, or since I opened my disk management, let me open it once again. Disk management. Then it's opening up. Oh, wait a little bit. Wait a little bit. Let's go to the disk partition here. Wipe disk. Sorry. I need to apply. I forgot to apply. So you can see on your screen right here, we have apply button right here. I need to apply. So yes. So it is deleting the partition on the hard drive. Let it do its magic, and it's done successfully. So we can go back to the disk management, and we see we have 465.76 GB unallocated. So what I just need to do, just write new simple volume, and I'm going to put it I'm just going to write it in capital letters, local. Sorry, not in capital letters, local disk like that. E, right? It is formatting, doing its magic, and we are good to go. So let's go to the File Explorer. We can see we are having local disk A, and we're having local disk D, and all our files are in there. So guys, please just make sure you like, comment, and share this video to your friends, and you're going to do all this magic. It is your guy here, DJ Cliff, aka Wanyeshi. Bye bye.